Very familiar faces. Matt Holland, Leroy Rossignol are here to go through all of the talking points of basically talking Arsenal and celebrating their Premier League win. Are they worthy winners, Matt?
Yeah, I think they are this season. They've been knocking on the door, haven't they, for a number of seasons. They've finished second the last 3 years, and they've come really close. This year, they've managed to get over the line. There's a lot of question marks about their style of play, maybe how they've won it. Set pieces have been really crucial to them this season. They've won it because of their defence. I think David Raya in goal, Gabriel and Saliba at centre-back, Declan Rice in midfield, that spine of the team. Their best team without the ball. At times, maybe not the best free-flowing football team that we've seen in the Premier League, but I think they're worthy winners, absolutely.
Yeah, I think so as well. But, I mean, I think this is largely down to one of the reasons as well, Leroy, as we just look at the squad depth that they've built up over Mikel Arteta's 6.5 seasons now at the club.
Absolutely. They've won it because Mikel Arteta has been backed by the board. And, you know, the rule that we kind of abided by is 2 quality players for each position. And that applies here with 3 strikers, because, you know, I don't think he was 100% sure about Gyökeres coming in, but Jesus and Havertz getting fit really supplemented that front line really well. But it's a tremendous squad, and that's what's got them over
the other thing you'd say about this squad is that all these players, or the majority of these players, can play in different positions as well. You're saying about 2 players for every position. Timber and White can both play centre-back. We've seen Mosquera and Nkapie playing at full-back positions. Miles Lewis-Skelly played in midfield. Calafiori can play at centre-back. I'm not saying Raya can play up front, but the majority of these players can play in lots of different positions. Eza could play out wide if needed be. So, I mean, yeah, 2 players for every position, but every single one of those can, or the majority of them, can play in a different position as well.
Yes, they can, but I think we'd always agree that the core, the spine of the team is really important. And I think that David Raya is crucial, and I think he's been outstanding this season. And I just want to show you some of the big moments that he's actually produced, because we all know you need to have a really good goalkeeper to be successful, to win the Premier League. But this guy really has stepped his game up. Look at the foot movement, look at his anticipation and his patience in making these saves. And each one of these saves are actually match-winning saves.
Do you know, Mikel Arteta deserves a lot of credit, because when David Raya came in, there's a lot of people raising their eyebrows as to why do you need David Raya? You've got a really good goalkeeper in Aaron Ramsdale. Aaron Ramsdale was a decent goalkeeper, wasn't he? And has proved so. He's played for England. He's been in the Premier League for many years. But David Raya's come in and just been that extra special.
Exactly. And we're looking at his saves, but his all-round game is absolutely top quality. And these happened in games where Arsenal dominated, and a period of the games where it was crucial. These were match-winning saves. These were at the end of games was so important. And his agility. I mean, he's not the biggest of goalkeepers, but he's so agile.
You just look at his footwork in each one of these clips, in each one of these saves. We always think that everything goalkeepers do is with their hands, but it's not. The footwork in some of these saves, and as you're talking, his agility, his ability to move positions, make these saves, is crucial. And yeah, I mean, that was a huge call. When you think you've got a top goalkeeper in Ramsdale, and you go and surprise everybody and bring in this guy, I think we were all raised eyebrows at first. But I think we all understand exactly why he made that decision.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, stats speak for themselves, doesn't it? And he's won the Golden Glove now, again, this season. You're looking at the most clean sheets in a season this year, 50 appearances. He had 28 clean sheets. It's an incredible record. I'm actually a little bit surprised when I look at that and see Petr Cech there at only 28 clean sheets. I just, in my mind, I just think that he would be the highest of all of those. Edwin van der Sar's the man there. But David Raya this season, I think, has been exceptional. Built on the defence. As I say, it helps when you've got Gabriel and Saliba winning everything ahead of them. You've got Declan Rice breaking things up in midfield as well. But David Raya, some of those saves we've seen have been terrific.
Well, let's talk about that defence. Let's talk about that defensive unit, Leroy, because you, in particular, are very impressed with how they defend both boxes.
Yeah, both boxes are so important, but that defensive one is really important. I just want to highlight them here and just look how close they are together. And they work so well together, and they defend their box brilliantly. You see the position, the great body position. You're talking about body position, just always aware and just defending the middle of the goal. I know it sounds silly, but it's so important. It's centre halves defend that area of the pitch. And when they make a mistake, I just want to stop. It's about reactions. Gabriel's out of the picture. David Raya's out of his box. Who's the one who reacts and gets back to clear it? And that's just brilliant anticipation, and just as good as the defending as a tackle on and around the halfway line. Again, here, I'm just going to stop it here. Gabriel, when your partner's in trouble, you need someone to come up and make up for it and sort it out. And he does. And he leaves this guy all on his own because he goes and deals with the problem. And
Pace.
he does it.
He's got that recovery pace, hasn't he?
Gabriel's out of position, I'll get across, I'll deal with that, not a problem.
Well, I would say, I think they've got a mix of everything because they do have the pace, they do have anticipation, they are very brave, they want to go and get their bodies in the way. And I think as a duo, as a partnership, I think they cover a lot of bases.
Yeah. Complement each other really well, don't they? I don't think you'll find anyone that wants to stop a goal more than Gabriel at centre-back.
Absolutely, yeah. And there's 6 and the 5. As we were brought up with the 6 and the 5, the 6 was the one that go and head it, the 5 was a little bit more creative, but they both love defence.
Could they go down as the best partnership that the league's ever had? We always talk about the combinations, don't we? And just to show you the stats this season, to show you how much better they've been than everybody else. But do they enter the conversation of greatest centre-half pairing?
Well, when you look at that, they've only started together 26 times. 15 times they've kept a clean sheet. That's an incredible record. Yeah. Ferdinand and Vidic probably would be the two that stick up. Terry and Carvalho at Chelsea. They're sort of just jumping out at me, maybe ahead of Gabriel and Saliba at the moment. They've just won one Premier League title so far. In 2-3 years' time, we might be having a conversation. I'll be saying Gabriel and Saliba have been the best by.
Yeah, they have to win multiple titles, you say.
I think so. I think Ferdinand and Vidic, I think John Terry, Carvalho, those two pairings maybe just slightly ahead at the moment.
I agree with you, but they're very young. They're very young. Only a couple of seasons they've been playing together. At both at a good age, they can go on for a very long time.
Yeah, and just to move on, just to show you how their XG against compares this season. Yeah, actually, it's the best that Arsenal have had. Yeah, only 0.74 expected goals against. They actually conceded 27 goals, so pretty much where they're supposed to be. Manchester City, quite impressive what they've done before, because I think we talk about Arsenal being a very good defensive team, but
it helps when you have 80% of the ball to stop the opposition, doesn't it? And, you know, in those periods, Man City dominated. We've seen this season with Pep Guardiola a slight change in his style of play, actually. He's been a bit more direct this season, whereas in the past, we've seen Man City totally dominate the ball.
And the thing with Arsenal, they've been able to see games out. Yeah. You know, when they've been a goal up, they say, OK, let's go back in the low block and we'll just see it out. And you know what? They've been more than comfortable. Yeah. They never looked like they're going to concede. You know, David Raya's come up with some important saves, but that back four have been absolutely immense.
Yeah, they have, and I think we're showing how they've defended. But ultimately, I think if everybody or anybody is remembering Arsenal from this season, I think it's going to be set pieces, Matt. I think so. I think that's been a dominant factor in this season.
A lot of their goals have come from set pieces. 25 goals they've scored from set pieces, 19 of them from corners over the course of the season. You know, that's 19. It's half the games. That's an incredible record, isn't it? And they've scored all types of different goals from set pieces as well. I'm going to the first one. This is a familiar setup. Yeah. So you're looking at the back post. Just to highlight them. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4 of them at the back post. I think this is Saliba in that position as well. But there's no one ahead of the near post. You've got the edge of the box ringed as well, so if they do try and break, at least you've got a couple of people there to win it on the edge of the box. I'm going to play this. I'll play the first one through, then we'll watch it again on the replay. But they attack the ball so well. They run right across the goalkeeper's line of vision. I think it's Urian Timber who wins this first one, heads it into the corner. We'll watch it again now. There's the familiar setup. We've got them at the back. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. They all make that run across the front of the goalkeeper to block his vision. You've got 2 on the edge of the box, as I said. We'll play it on slowly. By the time that ball comes in, that's the trigger for the corner to be taken. When I stop it there, you've got nobody now, this side of the penalty spot. Yeah. They've all gone across that near post. It's so difficult to defend. So many bodies in the way. Who's marking? Who's picking who up? Can the goalkeeper come? Well, he can't come through all those bodies. Play it on. Brilliant header from Urian Timber. This time it's a different setup. So, as I said, ring in the box. They had 2 on the edge of the box last time. Now, all of a sudden, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 on the edge of the box. And it's a different setup. So you haven't got the 4 at the edge. I mean, I don't know if this confused Newcastle, but it's something different, isn't it? Again, we'll play this one through. Who is it again? I think it's Gabriel. Wins it ahead of the goalkeeper. But if I stop it again, so you've got the 4 on the edge of the box. One of them makes his way. I think it's Lewis Skelly, is it? Comes in to the box. You've got people who attack it. I said no one in the Premier League attacks the ball better than Gabriel. No. I'll play it on slowly. This is the 90th minute against Newcastle to win the game. I'll just stop it there. Look at this position here. Lewis Skelly. If this misses everyone, he's the one who's going to pick it up at the end, behind everybody else. But nobody attacks the ball better than Gabriel.
And what the important position in all these set pieces.
Someone on the keeper.
Someone on the keeper. Stopping the goalkeeper coming and using their hand. And it's not a foul because he's just stood there. And he's not impeding the keeper. He stood there, and that was so important to how good they were.
I think what else we sort of need to touch on, but it's always crucial, is the delivery.
Yeah.
Delivery.
I think that's a really good point.
Outstanding.
Yeah, Declan Rice and Bukayo Saka generally are the takers, aren't they? In-swingers into that 6-yard box, pile out everybody in the 6-yard box, and then they attack it so well. Gabriel wins it. Huge goal. This time it's a free kick rather than a corner. We'll play it on. I'll play the first one through again.
But they're looking at every option, where the ball's going to drop in these first
it's the familiar setup, so it's the bus stop routine again. There they all are, 4 of them. They're going to make that run, cross the line, so it's really difficult because they're all facing this way. They don't know when they're coming either, do they?
It's really interesting, Matt, because when we were doing these games live, the opposition seemed to panic. And they always sit on their feet.
He has, and just to show the stats with regards to percentage of goals scored by a Champions team, 35% of their goals this season have been scored. But I mean, it's way above the average for a Champions.
You know what it's like. It can be a bit boring, can't it? Working on set pieces, working on corners, but they obviously clearly put the work in.
Frustrating at times during training, isn't it? But if this is the output, this will manage and talk about the difference. And what he had to do and how much he had to change.
I mean, he's talked about it, Mikel Arteta, quite extensively. He said it's been a project, it's been a process, trust the process. When he took over in December 2019, this was the 11 he selected away at Bournemouth. It's unrecognisable now, the team, isn't it, that's playing now. You look at some of the individuals, there's clearly a clash of personalities with Mikel Arteta and some of the personnel in this team. And he immediately recognised that he needed to change it. He needed to change the culture. He needed to change the players. He needed to change lots of things at the football club to take them in the right direction. And he quickly got rid of a few big-name players. Clearly a clash with Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, for instance, and he wanted him out the door. There was 1 or 2 Arsenal fans who were questioning his method, questioning his decision-making by losing someone of his quality. But he felt he needed to do that at that time. So, I mean, it's totally unrecognisable now, Leroy, isn't it, to where it was, 6.5 years ago?
Apart from this guy.
Well, well, even there.
Who now plays here.
Exactly that. You know, he was playing Saka at left-back and he recognised straight away out the talent he's got going forward, and he's now picks him at right wing.
Well, there were superstars in the side. Look, Aubameyang, Ozil, they were superstars. Ozil, having come from Real Madrid, wanted to play how Ozil wanted to play. And that's how he had such a great career, but it didn't suit Mikel Arteta and even Xhaka. And now we see him at Sunderland doing absolutely brilliant. Was having his problems at Arsenal. He had a really tough relationship with the Arsenal fans, and Arteta had to deal with all of that. And that's why I come back to giving him time. You know, time was so important to him, and he bought time. You know, obviously by winning that FA Cup, that bought him time. But he needed to totally restructure this squad for him to start challenging. Not even win the Premier, to start challenging, and obviously to eventually win that.
Well, let's see some of the major signings that he had to make in and out, and talk about the price that they paid, the importance of some of those signings. I mean,
Declan Rice is the one that stands out, top of the tree, £100 million. I think he would, walk into any other team. In the Premier League, you could even say world football. Couldn't you, Declan Rice? He's been the driving force. He hasn't worn the armband this season, but he's the one that's driven them forwards. I think this summer's recruitment, or last summer's recruitment, should I say, was really key. You think he spent 250 million. You look at those 4 players that came in. Eza, Zubamendi, Gyökeres. Everyone said he needed a number 9. He brought Gyökeres in. He's maybe not scored as many as maybe we anticipated. 14 Premier League goals, I think he's got at the end. 21 goals in total. But he's over 20 goals. That's not bad. Madueke's been a really good replacement on the right-hand side when Saka hasn't been fit, which has been a bit this season as well. So I think the recruitment in the summer was really crucial. But the one that, for me, that's got them over the line is Declan Rice at the top.
You're absolutely right, and you look at all the ins, but you have to look at the outs as well, because in recruitment,
I think they're good prices.
They're good prices and no regrets. Look, these are all good players. There's no doubt about it. They're all good players. But no regrets. You're not thinking, if we kept Nketiah, which happens in recruitment, if we kept Granit Xhaka also went to Germany, did brilliant, but you look at the midfield there now. So that's so important, getting people out as well.
Good profit on the books when you think about some of the younger ones who've come through your system.
Declan Rice. I think he does it all. I really do. I think he attacks the ball well. I think he defends really well. I think he's a man for all occasion. You see on this moment, he's in an attacking position. Suddenly his team lose the ball. They're actually exposed in that moment. And you need that kind of player who... The Premier League has become so fast and furious. I mean, look at the speed at which he's just been able to change direction there, and now he's driving forward with the ball.
You two, both midfield players, a simple question. How difficult is it to play against someone like that who can do absolutely everything?
You know, I get asked a lot, who are the most difficult players that you played against in the Premier League?
Yeah.
And I played in the era, Roy Keane, Patrick Vieira, Gerrard, Lampard, etc. I always think Gerrard probably was the hardest to play against because he was a box-to-box midfielder in the same mould as
I would say they're similar.
Rice.
Yeah. I think Declan Rice doesn't strike a ball like...
He's not going to score as many as Steven Gerrard. He's never going to score as many as Steven Gerrard, Declan Rice. But he was a box-to-box midfielder. Frank Lampard was an attacking midfield player. Didn't necessarily track you all the way back defensively. Roy Keane was more of a, I think, and Vieira were probably more sixes, if you like, holding midfield players that tried to dictate the game.
But this shows, I mean, he can do it all. We just saw an assist that he did brilliantly. We've just seen his goal, which again was a crucial moment in the season to go and win that game. And I think whenever Arsenal have been under pressure or their backs have been against the wall, this guy stepped up, took the ball, drove the team forward. And his numbers back it up.
Yeah, they do. I mean, in Premier League this season, for Arsenal, 36 appearances, that's third. Minutes second on that. Assists, he's had 5, third. Chances created, number 1. I mean, I think set pieces, he takes corners, so delivery. We talk about delivery, though, it's on the money. Tackles, he's first. Interception, second. Possession, 1 for 8. Look, the numbers, he's brilliant without the ball. I think there's still... people used to say to me, oh, Declan Rice, what's his best position? Is he a centre-half at West Ham? Holding midfield player. Release him. He's a number 8. He can do it all.
Absolutely.
Let him go and play box to box because that's where his strength is.
To talk about another impressive part of Arsenal's team, which is their wingers and their variation, and also the fact that they've got multiple people to play and come on and make a difference. They've got real depth in that area, haven't they?
Yeah, they have. And you know what? Sometimes, you know, it's a difficult position because you're not always going to be successful. You've got Saka here at the moment, but when I think an hour, you know, for a wide player is great. If you want to go on in the season, you're looking at an hour now, and then to change it up to bring on first. And Arsenal have been able to do that with the options that they've had. Madueke's been brilliant. At the start of the season, outstanding when Saka was injured. Then he's got injured. Saka's come back.
Well, that's it.
They've just backed each other up.
Last season, I think Saka did get injured in about March or April time. They got injured in that area, and they didn't have anyone to come in. They were stretched. They had Martinelli. They had Trossard trying to do bits, but I think that the addition of those signings that we just highlighted before gave them a real opportunity to just freshen things up.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think Trossard's come up with some really big moments as well off the left-hand side. It's funny because Martinelli actually on the left-hand side has only scored 1 Premier League goal all season. That came in the 93rd minute against Man City and got them a point. But Trossard on that left-hand side has been more potent, I think, in terms of the Premier League goals.
But I have to say that I think that they're just more potent down this right-hand side in terms of being creative. And Trossard, look, his strength is just arriving in the box.
He comes inside,
gets his goals off. So the balance has been absolutely right there. The width has been on this right-hand side, and it's usually come from this area. I mean, it's a really clever finish from Saka on this occasion.
Yeah, outstanding. Just to show what you just mentioned there, Leroy, the side of the pitch that they do enjoy attacking down the most is quite evident.
Yeah, and I mean, if you had 2 wingers, you'd usually have one winger who's stood there outside watching while that ball's going across. But because they know, they're all on the same wavelength. When that ball goes to the right-hand side, and the likes of Timber and White supplement it brilliantly. And it just means that, you know, from this area of the pitch, Trossard has got into those areas. But the other thing is Calafiori, when he's played left-back, he's also got into the box
I was about to say, of the left-backs, Calafiori is the one probably that does that the best, doesn't he?
Exactly.
He gets it, you know, Nico O'Reilly style, if you like, that left-back going into a number 10 position. I think Calafiori does that so well. But down that right-hand side, particularly when Bukayo Saka plays, I mean, I think he's such a talent, such a player that that's where they have been the most dangerous this season.
Yeah, I also wanted to talk about, you know, Arsenal's certainly best winger. I still feel he's their best winger because He's been ever-present since Mikel Arteta signed. He's the player that is still there, and that's the breakdown of his numbers. It's very impressive.
It is very impressive, and I thought a big turning point is when he signed that 5-year contract just only a couple of months ago. I thought that was really clever to say, well, our best player is staying with us. He believes in what we're doing, and that means that they're building around him. Everything is around Bukayo Saka, and I think exactly the right. I know we talked about Declan Rice, but he's a guy who's been at Arsenal since day one, started at left back, as we've shown. He's a local guy, knows what the club's all about, and he's going to be there for a long time, and that suggests that Arsenal are going to be challenging for the title.
Are Arsenal, or can Arsenal dominate now, moving forward in the same way Manchester City did with the titles on the run?
I'm not sure. Look, Man City are going nowhere. I know Pep Guardiola's going, but they'll still be strong. Chelsea will be strong, I think. Alonso in charge, and they're not going to stop spending money, are they? Chelsea, Man United will be stronger. I know in Europe next season, people are saying that maybe the extra games will hinder them a little bit, but I think they're in for a big summer in terms of recruitment. Liverpool, their recruitment last summer was huge. It's taken a while for them to really settle, hasn't it? I think that some of those players, they'll be better next season. Look, if they're not going to win 4. I don't think they'll win 4 Premier League titles in a row like we saw Man City do.
What I will say about Mikel Arteta, I think he's got a thing where he wants to do it in style. Because the way they challenged for the Premier League title, the previous 3 seasons, they wanted to outplay.
You want him to be more expansive now?
I think he wants to be more expansive.
Right, okay.
I think he's found a way of winning it, and I think now that will give him the freedom to say, OK, now let's go and do it with a little bit more style and try and control games a bit more with the ball. Because that's what Mikel Arteta is all about.